If you have Nxra, awesome. Good for you. I want to state this. Shout out to anybody who didn't paper hand Nxra, and especially shout out to the ones who did, I guess you could say, diamond hand or hodl this and so on in light of all the bad news that happened back when it was ALBT. Because you want to know something? You are a testament of patience. So you know what? Give credit where credit's due. Even myself, right? I listened to all the FUD out there and so on and ignored it and said to myself, you know something? This thing is solid. This one, I've done my research and I am not going to be shaken out of this. And you know what? I looked at my portfolio today and I said, wow, for the first time since it used to be called ALBT, Nxra is now back into the profits for me. So I was ecstatic. I was so ecstatic that I had to let Mike Cornwell know he also has it. I had to message Tim Shea. So let's talk about Nxra. And the first time we talked about this in a long time. Okay. So we're going to take you to the CoinGecko chart. And man, there's quite a few things to highlight here, in my opinion. I'm going to come out of the frame for a bit. But yeah, we're going to show you some key things here. So first thing, it's up about 34% on the 24-hour chart. The other things, how about this for a second? Before this thing was ALB, or went to Nxra, NXRA, and it was ALBT, you had a total supply of 1 billion and a max supply of 1 billion. They shrunk that, right, to 850 million. So I thought I'd throw that out there. On the 30-day chart, a nice looking chart, right? You always want to see charts kind of do some of this stuff. And then on top of this, look at this for a second. 14-day chart, 36.3%. 7-day chart, 37%. On that 30-day chart, 82%. Not too shabby for something that a lot of people kind of gave up on, right? Got to give credit where credit's due, in my opinion. And of course, sitting at, close to 13.5 cents. So what has happened lately in regards to Alliance Blocks Nxra, right? Great question. Let's get into a little bit more of what has happened recently in regards to Nxra. So this comes from X, okay? And this guy named Jolly Green Investor, what a name. 72,000 followers, my God. Says the real narratives in crypto, of course, are emerging. Yes, they are. A lot of people are starting to feel bullish on the market. Some of the people that were, hey, it's going to crash to, BTC 12K and so on. I don't see as many of those people lately. I'm just throwing it out there. But yes, the tokenization of real world assets, RWA, because we've been talking a lot about this, especially with that Relio segment earlier, right? It has been one that we have all been pounding the table on for the past year. You guys know I cover this when it comes to Quant, Will Fix, when it comes to Lofty, you name it. Real world assets. Nxra is an undisputed leader, and the world is finally realizing this. Yes, the light bulb is finally turning on, and I already saw this a long time ago, to be honest. It's not me bragging or anything like that, but, my thing is, if you've done the proper research, you already know what you have and why you hold it. So check out this little snippet of our show below as a preview of what he's bullish on. Now, you got to keep in mind that 90-day chart. We talked about the 30-day one, right? Pretty impressive. But on the 90-day chart, up 116.29%. And basically speaking, not too bad to say the least. So I'm going to go ahead and play this little video. This was posted earlier today, November 22nd. And these guys have a great perspective, in my opinion. It says, this is why he's so bullish on Nxra. People are sleeping on Alliance Block after some recent troubles. Yes. But been there, done that. But they're all ignoring all the positive aspects on this project. And I just couldn't just sit on the sidelines and be like, you know what? Nxra is doing good. It's doing great. So again, shout out to all you guys who weathered the storm of crypto winter and the FUD. Let's go ahead and play this. Smash the like if you appreciate the content so far. And listen to these two guys in regards to their perspective on Nxra. Here we go.
Picks, and my number 3 pick is going to be Alliance Block.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so look, this is a player who...
I wish I could make it louder. As loud as it goes. So, man, want to tune up your volume if you can.
Picks, and my number 3 pick is going to be Alliance Block.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so look, this is a player who just went through a massive amount of controversy. Showed up in the headlines for the wrong reasons. And, like, we never like to see that. But I'm not forgetting about the potential that Alliance Block has. So what happened is there was an exploit, there was a hack. Their old token, which was ALBT, I think, got massively drained and hacked. So what they did is they bridged over to a new token, which is Nxra. Seems like everyone's completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
So this is sitting around a $55 million market cap, fully diluted. They're building a gateway between traditional finance, TradFi, and DeFi. They're looking to build like a globally compliant capital market, which is connecting financial institutions with legal entities, with bookkeepers, with DeFi, with everything. And I think this kid is connected in the right crowd. So they're working with Quant, Hedera, Ava Labs, Polygon, huge partners running with the right crowd, this guy. And he's in that kind of regulatory capital space, cross, Web 2, Web 3, DeFi. I like a lot of things. And I think people are overlooking this kid based on what happened recently.
I think based off of the partners and ecosystem alone, it has one of the most craziest attributes out there. It's like this guy's like 6'8", but is like running a 4.340.
Yep.
But he blew out his knee, and there's some question marks around him.
And he's some off the court issues. You've seen it in a strip club, and that's all right. That's all right. I look past it. I see the potential.
So I do like that one. So that was your number 3, was it?
3, yeah.
Okay. So for my number,
again, for most of us, we already know about what happened and so on. But for the newcomers, yeah, like to share that as a reminder of what happened. All right. I'm going to jump into this next part of what we have in regards to this. And let's just pull this up. This is officially from Alliance Block. Look what it says there. States, the next evolution of data commerce is here. You guys know me. I love covering projects that have something to do in regards to data. JASMY, Filecoin, you name it, right? Data Tunnel has evolved into an advanced data marketplace platform for enhanced data collaboration. Also got to give a shout out to IOTA, right? Introducing Nuklai data. Sounds crazy, right? Check out this new image and vision of the future of data here. Because if anything, I didn't want to just give you the thing of like, hey, Alliance Block, Nxra to the moon, and that's it. Let's give you a little bit like more of who Alliance Block is currently working with that's significant. This post on November 17th, so not that long. And if anything, I want to take you to this. And yeah, this is just 15 seconds anyway. But basically, yeah, introducing Nuklai, if you pronounce it that way. It's a significant evolution from the data tunnel into a collaborative data marketplace. Because remember how we talked about with JASMY, a decentralized data marketplace? Think about it. Witness their transformation and step into a new data economy. That catches my attention immediately, especially if I just went from a JASMY video talking about decentralized data marketplaces and to something that, let's face it, not a lot of people talk about Nxra. Some people do, right? But it does kind of fly under the radar. So it's just this little 15-second thing. I mean, it doesn't even have sound, but this in regards to this whole thing of, yeah, Nuklai. I don't even know if that's the right way to pronounce it and so on, but I went more to the site, and if anything, I'll take you to there right now. So actually, before I take you to the sites, I apologize. This is their Twitter, right? And again, not much of a following. And you know what? There's all sorts of examples of things that fly on the radar. But like it says, collaborative data marketplace. They're headquartered in the Netherlands, okay? And they did make a post, I think it was like the other day, you know, exploring how to build a global community where data enthusiasts can earn from their skills and contribute to a bigger data picture. That's cool. You know, we talk about fit to earn, play to earn. How about skills to earn? Like we always mentioned before, you can tokenize anything and everything. They also talk about this right quick. They are about helping people, each other, for instance, leveraging cross-industry data, a local store sharing sales data to help market analysts while getting demographic data in return. They're creating a place where every piece of data can solve real problems. I mean, on the surface, it sounds pretty cool. All right, now let's take you over to their site. It talks about this collaboration of data marketplace for pioneers. Unlocking your structured data true potential, powering next generation LLMs. It says need specific data, submit your request. Yes, think about it for a second. How many companies are out there that don't just want like a flood of data? They want what? They want specific data because time is money. And if anything, a lot of different companies don't want to cipher through all the nonsense. You know what I mean? Like the example I used before. I think as people play Fortnite and so on. But maybe me as a company, I don't care to know that your, 8-year-old kid bought a loot box in, for instance, Fortnite. That's not the data I'm looking for. I'm looking for specific data. What kind of a marketplace can just give me that? And if anything, that's like saying finding a needle in a haystack, right? But with data. Now we're talking about something big. So that caught my attention. If anything, maybe it catches yours. They are partnered with some really impressive companies here. So for one, Chainlink, Plug and Play, London Stock Exchange, Crunchbase, obviously ALBT, Alliance Block, Nxra. They have all sorts of things on, educating us about their platform. But I do like this part right here, versatile API integration. Now, I can't, of course, confirm the whole thing with Quant, but I can also deep dive just as much as the next guy when it comes to connecting the dots. And what do we know when it comes to Quant and when it comes to Alliance Block, Nxra? We know that they have that key partnership. And we also know, we have seen and heard from the horse's mouth himself, Mr. Rashad Ajaja, or Rashid, I can't remember exactly, that Alliance Block uses, for instance, Quant's tech through Overledger in regards to APIs and so on. So that's already been confirmed. So if there's already that, and then you see something like this, versatile API integration, without even taking more of a deeper dive, and I don't care who criticizes me more on this, if you can find out the information on yourself through your own deep dive, I will welcome it. And that is this. If they have versatile API integration, yeah, it just makes sense that one of your key partners of Alliance Block who has that thing going on with Quant, you're going to be accessing the Quant over Ledger Network, OVN. That makes sense. Enhance existing infrastructure and LLMs with our robust API, enabling streamlined access to diverse metadata-rich structured data sets. Interesting. Go take a look at this because they really get into this. And it dates back, for instance, this on the left, the evolution of the data tunnel, posted, was it 5 days ago, guys? Roughly, give or take. What date is it today? Okay, so roughly 5 days ago. The evolution of a data marketplace, right? And they also got this thing all the way back in May about how they boost this whole thing with the Alliance Block data tunnel. So again, recognizing other platforms to enable your own, right? That is a big deal. I'm going to share this with you in regards to this piece. Let's take you over to here. And it gets really into it, not just, from the perspective of what we shared before. I will take a little bit of time to introduce this to you for a second. And it says, after an exciting period of development, research, and user testing, listen to this, the data tunnel reached a pivotal moment in its journey. The journey began with a vision to improve data sharing, data-driven insights, and creating new opportunities for data monetization. Now, we know that JASMY, for instance, is going to get to where they are going to monetize data. And if anything, like I was also talking about, was Well, what about specific data? I like the idea that we have other examples from other platforms, hence Nxra, they're teaming up with the enablers to have utility in motion. And say what you want, monetizing data is specifically data in motion, and especially this one that finds like a needle in a haystack when it comes to, hey, XYZ company, you just want specific data. Yes, we are the enablers of that, and we're teamed up with Alliance Block. That's game changer. This path was filled with extensive research, pilot projects. I like hearing that, because you want to know something? We all need to be proven or prove to us that these platforms works, and deep engagements with enterprises. Every single time I've done more research about Alliance Block and Nxra and so on, they are very, very connected when it comes to enterprises, businesses, and data enthusiasts. So the journey in developing a leading data marketplace architecture has been guided by a vision of creating a new data economy. I think this particular platform, teamed up with Alliance Block, is one of the most underrated, flown under the radar type things that I think just the average person just doesn't know about. When you think about it, even on Twitter, not much of a following. Building on the research and development stage, they are proud to introduce a significant evolution of the data tunnel, which is called, I think it's called Nuklai. I could be wrong. But this identity encapsulates all the insights and lessons learned and marks the beginning of the rollout of a fully fledged platform and novel data economy. I'm not going to get into all this, but it does specifically mention about the whole thing in Nxra. So let's get into this. Their plans in the near future, including the unique benefits of Nxra holders, they will delve into how funders and RALBT play a central role in the genesis of the NAI token. And if anything, I mean, I'm not going to do it today, but I want to look more into this specifically because you never know. I mean, we always are looking for low cap gems, if you will. We can get more into this as well. But yeah, the brand, Nuklai, vision, value proposition, use cases. I mean, at the end of the day, aren't we always trying to find something that has multiple layers of utility and not just hoping to have a future vision of one through like a, dog crap Inu coin token and so on? Nuklai, as the name suggests, will become the nucleus. So I guess you could say like nucleus AI, the core of a cell that represents the new data economy. It will unify the scattered segments of the data landscape, utilizing advanced decentralized tech to enhance and advance the capabilities of next generation large language models, which are called LLMs, and artificial intelligence, which is of course AI. I mean, we've seen a lot of things when it comes to Alliance Block and so on, but this, again, I really feel as though this takes it to a whole new level. Because for one, look at this for a second. When it comes to Alliance Block, we already know that they really, really stand out when it comes to that bridge of TradeFi and DeFi. Well, can you have another bridge? Yes. Because I guess I'm just gonna keep calling it Nuklai. Anyway, it's probably Nuklai AI. We'll find out how you pronounce it. But Nuklai bridges the gap between individual data enthusiasts, businesses, large-scale institution partners, unlocks previously untapped data potential, and opens new doors for innovative streams of revenue. I love this, innovative streams of revenue. I mean, you think about this for a second. Like even I, as a content creator, I mean, we have, to a sense, monetized data, and that basically is how many times people tune into view the live show, or some of the recorded content I chop up and so on, right? This is not a big channel, but that is monetized data. But being able to find specific data sets and come up with innovative streams based off of those data sets to incorporate a revenue stream, say what you want, that's a big deal. Because you want to know something? I'll also give you another example. What about Veracity? Veracity is supposed to do this job, for instance, of preventing, like, for instance, there's so many different companies that, want to see people watch the actual, like, ads and advertisements, commercials, and so on, and not have it be bots, right? How could we have something like even like this come together with something like that? Those two could work hand in hand. You know what I mean? Again, my whole thing is this: enablers of particular utility working with other ones to get a job done. Nuklai's mission is to orchestrate the vast fragmented data landscape into a cohesive, powerful network. They're building a dynamic platform that simplifies data navigation and revolutionizes how data is exchanged, evaluated, and of course leveraged. Nuklai, I know I'm not pronouncing that right. Nuklai catalyzes the creation of innovative business models, redefining value creation in a data-driven world. There's so much more that's mentioned here. I would highly recommend that you look more into it. Some of you guys like visuals. I do want to talk about this for a second. So this caught my eye in regards to this private ESG consortium. Because as you guys know, I cover JASMY like every day pretty much, right? So if you're a JASMY holder, I would totally look into this. Why? How many deep dives have we been talking about lately when it comes to ESG? Quite a bit, right? So you have, for instance, this private ESG consortium, and just like everything we talk about with JASMY when it comes to IoT and sensors and all that whole shebang, look what's mentioned here: sensors, satellite imagery. Remember we talked about the whole thing of Tadashi Morita, and then we talked about another project when we teamed up with Minalagwar, talking about those low orbiting satellites and how we did the whole deep dive. Again, enter in this particular company, Nuklai or Nuklai. I guess I call it Nuklai. My bad. But you even have the whole thing of carbon credits. We know what JASMY is trying to do with it. So my thing is this: decentralized data marketplaces. You don't have to invest in just one. You can be invested in a few different ones. And I'm glad that I'm already invested in Nxra. Is this an example of, why Nxra is doing some big things? Well, it could be, right? But also you like the idea that this really stands out for Nxra and made recent news. Private automotive consortium. Again, back to the whole thing of everything I've been covering with JASMY when it comes to, sensors and their partners and what they're looking to do when it comes to going green or having, autonomous vehicles and so on, right? Very cool visual. Each node represents a data source at an organization with the connections between them outlined in public and private data sharing ecosystems. So if anything, even in the future, you never know, maybe something like this would want to work with JASMY, because they're not just based on one like silos, whoever anyone mentioned, right? They are looking to go to private data, public and private data sharing ecosystems. So they could team up with some other ones and so on. That's cool. Glad to bring it. Glad to be able to bring that to you guys. So with that said, a lot of things happening with Nxra, and it's been a while since we covered the whole thing with Nxra. I'm very, very bullish on Nxra, and I'm so glad to be back into the profits once again.